Coming up next on Bear News, we've got information on a possible budget increase for UNC.
And the UNC football team was in Flagstaff, Arizona last weekend, and so are we. I'll have the full highlights later on in sports.
And in weather, I'll provide some more details on this ongoing snowstorm.
We've got all that and more on this episode of Bear News. Stay tuned. Thanks for joining us on Bear News. I'm Emily Carr.
And I'm Kristen Scovilage. If the Colorado legislature accepts Governor John Hickenlooper's budget proposal, UNC will get more state money next year. UNC President Kay Norton told the university's Board of Trustees that the governor wants to spend another $100 million on higher education. If that happens, UNC would receive an additional $3.7 million. That's an increase of about 11% over this year's $33.6 million. According to a prepared release from the governor's office, $40 million of the $100 million would go to increase financial aid programs. The other $60 million would go for operating expenses. That translates to an across-the-board 11% increase for university operating expenses for all state colleges and universities. 3/4 of the increased financial aid money will go to provide a financial incentive for institutions to retain and advance students toward degree completion. Another $5 million would go to merit aid to recognize high-achieving students, and the remaining money would go to student work-study programs.
Thanksgiving is just around the corner, and some UNC students are already celebrating. The Native American Student Services held their annual Thanksgiving is Every Day celebration. The event was filled with lots of food, conversation, and musical entertainment. UNC students got to learn about the Native American perspective as well as partake in listening to traditional music. This celebration is all about taking back the meaning of Thanksgiving and celebrating it the way Native Americans feel it should be. Alethea Stovall, the interim director of NASS, had this to say.
Today we are celebrating NASS, Thanksgiving Every Day, and the event has been going on for quite a while now here at UNC. Thanksgiving Every Day has a couple of meanings to it. One is we think about what happened with Native Americans, and so taking back the day of Thanksgiving, and also reminding folks that when we celebrate Thanksgiving, that it's not just the one day. We actually celebrate it every day with a Native American culture. And so we have this tradition and we honor our elders, our ancestors, and that's why we have an event like this here at UNC. The evening consists of us cooking lots of different food for Native Americans, along with some of our foods that we might remember from childhood, being very special to us. And then we invite different groups here to come and perform for us so that we can also get an idea of the different cultures that Native Americans have.
The Native American Student Services next event will be called Two Spirits, and it will be taking place Wednesday, November 20th.
Will be sharing their knowledge and participating in some fun activities. Bear News reporter Estelle Plaguet attended the event, Swag Your Ramen. By the way, what is a ramen? Estelle has the answer for you right now.
The staff pots are churning. Like every year, the opening event of the International Education Week makes the Bears salivate. Swag Your Ramen gathered between 100 and 115 students around a bowl of this typical Japanese meal. The Center for International Education is pleased because tonight the line is huge. The best part is definitely the eating. Not always easy. For a typical ramen, you first need the basics: noodles and flavored powder. Then you're free to pick up what ingredient you prefer. Fish, meatballs, mushrooms, tofu, and... wait, what?
Seaweed?
We Chinese eat a lot of seaweed, and because I'm from seaside city, and our city producing a lot of seaweed, so I like it a lot.
But what UNC choose ramen in particular?
There to encourage American students or domestic students to go abroad, and people love free food.
Reporting from the UC, I'm Estelle Plaguet, Bear News.
If you want to enjoy the end of this colorful week, the International Movie Night is tomorrow from 7 to 9 p.m. in Wilson.
Have you ever seen the UNC police cars around campus and wondered what a typical day looks like for a police officer? Luckily, there is a way to do that. Bear News Sports Director Rachel Turnock tells us exactly how.
As I mentioned, any student or even non-student can go on a ride-along with UNC Police. It's a very easy process to go through to be approved for one. UNC alumni and now police officer Daniel Darnell explains. I did just that, got approved, then headed over to Gray Hall to meet up with Officer Dan. Before we headed out, I asked him what I should expect from this ride-along and the overall purpose of it. Now, it's finally time. We headed over to the police car, got in, seatbelts fastened, and we're off. We drove around Central and West Campus to begin with, then made our way over to a parking lot to catch any speeders. Officer Dan then received a phone call to return to Gray Hall to check in a student's gun. By the way, any student with a permit can check in their gun to UNC Police for free since they aren't allowed in any of the dorms. We headed back out and stumbled upon an accident right at 9th Avenue and 17th Street. This semi-army truck took the curb too hard and knocked down this tree, which had a light pole attached to it. Officer Dan pulled over and talked to the men involved. No one was injured, and it was turned over to Greeley Police. Overall, my ride-along experience was very interesting and exciting. If you ever want a great learning experience and just an overall fun day, criminal justice major or not, go on a ride-along with UNC Police. You won't regret it. Reporting from Gray Hall, I'm Rachel Turnock, Bear News.
Thanks, Rachel. It definitely looks like you had a great time. Maybe I'll go sign up for a ride-along soon.
Thanksgiving is next week, and many UNC students will be traveling home to visit family. Is the weather going to allow for them to have a safe and easy trip home? Bear News meteorologist Paul Ford has our first look at weather to let us know. Paul.
Thankfully, Kristen, right now it's not. Right now, Thanksgiving is not today, because if it was, there might be a few flights canceled. But right now, it's about 16 degrees, got about 43% humidity, and that 5-mile-per-hour wind is bringing a little bit of wind chill, bringing temperatures down to about the single digits when you walk outside. Right now, the normal temperature is around 20, or the high for today was around 26 degrees, but don't really take much into that number because that was at exactly midnight this morning. If you really took a high since like 7 in the morning, it'd be around 18 degrees. If we're looking at the snow totals right now around DIA, right now we've got around 2 inches of snow. Around Evergreen, we've got about 1.5 inches of snow. In Wheat Ridge, we also had about 1.5 inches of snow. And in Greeley, we had 2 inches of snow officially, but I have seen around parts of campus, we've seen anywhere between 3 and 4 inches. Coming up later in weather, we've got some more details on the snow, and I've got your Thanksgiving forecast. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Paul. Coming up after the break, we'll tell you about an interesting new store here in Greeley.
Stick around. We'll be right back.
Do you have plans for the weekend? Well, if not, maybe you're interested in going to see a comedy with an all-star cast about a group of old men who take a trip to Las Vegas. Bear News entertainment reporter Estelle Plaguet has a review of Las Vegas. Estelle, is it real good?
Yes, Kristen. Las Vegas came in third this week in box office sales, and for good reason. While Las Vegas got mixed reviews from critics, over 71% of the audience members on Rotten Tomatoes say they loved it. It's the story of four elderly men played by Morgan Freeman, Michael Douglas, Robert De Niro, and Kevin Kline, who decide to take one last trip to Vegas for a bachelor party. The Fantastic Foursome then find themselves in troubling situations throughout the movie. Freeman brings both his wit and undeniable charm in this one. Robert De Niro adds a lot as well, again showing his range as an actor. Betty Jo Rocker from Real Talk Movie Reviews called Las Vegas an amusing screenplay that challenges those dreadful senior citizen stereotypes. While it's not a must-see, Las Vegas is a funny and charming movie. I think you will love it.
Well, the holiday season is about to begin, and Bear News meteorologist Paul Ford has the best ways to get you prepared in this week's App Wrap.
This is the final App Wrap of 2013, and what better way to end the year than to celebrate the holidays? In just 1 week from today, we celebrate Thanksgiving, and of course, the food, which is why you should check out Food 52. It's the perfect way to plan your holiday dinners with yummy holiday recipes. Whether it be the turkey or the gravy, this app has it all. For those who don't see themselves as the greatest cooks in the world, this app contains some step-by-step slideshows and even some videos, so anyone can create some restaurant-quality dishes for their friends, and of course, their family. We can't forget about the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday. Having a smartphone app is completely necessary to organize all of your shopping needs, which is why I recommend the app, blackfriday.fm. This app helps you organize in a nice, easy way all the crazy deals the stores are having so you can plan out your evening accordingly. The one thing I prefer with this app over other Black Friday apps is the fact that it has a shopping list. This should help you be able to game plan your night to get all of the great prices on the greatest shopping day of the year. And finally, let's jump forward a month to Christmas. If you want to be able to send someone a very unique Christmas card, check out GrinchCam. Inspired by the holiday special, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, GrinchCam is a fun and harmless way to send your loved ones a card with the iconic characters that has a little bit of a twist, your face. Whether you are the Grinch or his little dog, it's a very fun and simple way to change up this year's holiday season. With these 3 apps, you should be set for the next 2 months. Wishing everyone a happy holidays. I'm Paul Ford, Bear News.
Well, it looks like smartphones have really changed the way we get ready for the holidays. Thanks, Paul.
Do you have an urge to meet in a basement, drink some dew, and roll some dice? How about to collect cards and compete with others? Well, Bear News reporter Nathan Fusco may have found just the store for you.
It seems in years past being a nerd was, well, kind of a bad thing. But in recent years, it kind of been setting a trend. Let's go check inside the nerd store and see what being a nerd is really about.
But first, let's meet the king of this nerd kingdom, Travis Perry.
I was born and raised in Utah. I moved out to northern Colorado 15 years ago. One night, me and my wife were talking, and I was talking about getting into a new hobby, and she goes, "You and your nerd hobbies. You just need a one-place stop for all of them." So next morning, got up, I'm like, "That's it, I'm doing it." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" So that was the start of it. She'll claim no knowledge of the conversation.
Talk about hobbies. You have every pop culture reference, whether it's Doctor Who, Star Wars, Star Trek, Magic, Dungeons and Dragons. This is a home away from home for every nerd. And speaking of a nerd, here's one right now.
To try and pull people in, because it's a really diverse store. You can be nerdy in any category and they'll kind of have your needs. The only needs they won't fill are really movies and video games, but I mean, we go to other stores for that. We go to here for comics.
And oh man, do they have comic books. Whether it's a popular series Marvel and DC, or just old classics, this is the place to be.
Man, there's a ton of cool stuff in there. Whether you want figurines, board game, comic books, they got it all. I mean, I might even be a nerd now. Okay, well, let's not jump to any conclusions.
Reporting from the nerd store, I'm Nathan Fusco, Bear News.
I always knew there was something about you, Nathan, and now it all makes sense.
Yes, it does.
All right, Paul, so Thanksgiving break is already here, which, woo! But the real question is, what is the weather going to be like?
Well, luckily the snow is about to clear up in the next couple hours, but I'll give you your complete forecast after the break. Welcome back to Bear News. I'm meteorologist Paul Four. Taking a look outside of Candelaria right now, we've got some snow covering up the grass right now, but the UNC has taken pretty nice care of the sidewalks out there. We do have some ongoing snow off and on over the past 5 or 10 minutes. Looking at the radar right now, we see this cold front that came right through here, through Colorado. That is what's causing all of this snow and all of this cold weather throughout Colorado. Temperatures right now, we got 18 in Denver. As you can see, there is that cold front right there that is separating the 30s from the 40s, even some 50s that we had yesterday, but not quite there today. Right now, we got some teens in Colorado right now. We got 15 in Denver. We got 19 in Colorado Springs, even some 13s in Lyman, and it's currently 16 degrees here in Greeley. Lows for tonight, it's going to be very chilly though. It's going to be around 7 degrees tonight, and even if you head farther north into Wyoming and South Dakota, we've got some temperatures in the negatives. Unfortunately, that is also here in Greeley. We've got where it's going to be -2 tonight, but as you head into the mountains, we're going to see temperatures in the teens and in the 20s. Radar right now shows the off and on showers here in Colorado. As we take a closer look, you can see Greeley is getting off and on showers. And if we take a closer look, you can see as the snow showers are currently heading from Fort Collins into Greeley, we'll keep a closer eye on that. Snow forecast for tonight. We still get to see some off and on showers at around 7 o'clock into about midnight. Temperatures will be dropping down to about 5 degrees. We will hit that -2 mark between midnight and 7 in the morning, but hopefully by around 7 this morning, it will be about 2 degrees, and we should be seeing some clear skies by then. As we head to tomorrow, we're going to hit the freezing mark at around 32 degrees. It will be sunny, so hopefully we'll see some melting of the snow, but the 5-mile-per-hour winds will bring some chilly wind chills. Friday, or going into Saturday and Sunday, we're going to see temperatures gradually increase as we hit around 35 degrees on Saturday. It's going to be quite chilly for the football game, so you better bundle up as we take on Cal Poly. And on Sunday, we'll be back into the 40s. Next weekend's forecast, we're going to be hovering around the 40s and 50s as we head into our Thanksgiving break, but we should see some clear skies. Now we're off to Kyle O'Neill with the sports.
Thanks, Paul. One player with the UNC hockey team has made quite the impact on their success. Find out who it is after the break. For the first time ever, we covered footage of the UNC football team for an away game. The Bears faced the Northern Arizona University Lumberjacks in Flagstaff on November 16th. NAU kicker Andy Wilder made this 23-yard field goal for the early 3-0 lead. And with 5:31 left in the second quarter, senior quarterback for UNC, Seth Lobato, throws this interception to Randy Hale Jr., who returns it to 51 yards for the touchdown. The extra point is good, and the Jacks are up 10-0 going into the half. Redshirt freshman quarterback Sean Rubacaba played for the first time since October 12th and completed his very first pass of his collegiate career and rushed for 45 yards. He led the Bears with 137 yards on the ground, best all season. NAU scored a touchdown right after the half for a 17-0 lead. The fourth quarter begins, and Lobato throws this gem to Dimitri Stimfil. He's going, and he's gone for the 77-yard touchdown. The Bears made some good stops, but this late interception by Lobato in the fourth quarter cost UNC another score. Final score, 24-7 NAU. We managed to catch up with an interview with head coach Ernest Collins Jr. after the game to hear what he had to say about the performance of the Bears and their defense. UNC will play Cal Poly at 12:05 p.m. Saturday, November 23rd at Nottingham Field for Senior Day. The UNC volleyball team also had their last road trip of the regular season, facing Eastern Washington University Friday, November 15th, and Portland State University on the 16th. Sophomore outside hitter Kendra Cunningham had quite the night against EWU, scoring 22 career-high kills and 12 digs. UNC hit .234, while the Eagles hit .168. Senior libero Meredith Johnson for the Bears had 30 digs in this 5-set match to help lead the Bears to a season high of 93 digs. The Bears won 3-2, and the Portland State match was a little different, as the Bears fell to a 3-0 loss against the Vikings. Junior middle blocker Brianna Strong led the Bears offensively with 14 kills. UNC only hit .170 and tied the Vikings for 9 team blocks. With this loss, the Bears are the number 7 seed in the Big Sky standings, fighting against the number 6 seed Sacramento State for a playoff spot. For that to happen, Sac State, must lose their last 2 games, and USC must win their last 2 home games. UNC plays at 7 p.m. tonight against Southern Utah and 7 p.m. Saturday, November 23rd, against Northern Arizona University for senior night. The UNC men's basketball team put their winning record to the test against New Mexico State University November 20th in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Senior Derek Barden had another impressive night with 19 points and 7 rebounds, and junior guard Tevin Sajovic right under Barden with 15 points. Daniel Mullings for New Mexico State had 20 points on the night, and the Bears kept the score close throughout the game, shooting 39% from the field. New Mexico shot 48%, and the Bears lost their first game of the season against the Aggies 67-63. UNC will play their in-state rival Colorado State on November 22nd in Fort Collins at a 7 p.m. game. The UNC women's basketball team took to the road to face the 20th ranked team in the country last Saturday. Let's check out how they did against the Oklahoma State Cowgirls. The Bears fought hard, though the final score didn't show it. Junior Stephanie Lee led UNC with 14 points and added a career high of 4 steals. Freshman Amy Kinder contributed 12 points, and Jamie DeRoe scored 10. UNC only managed to convert 35% of their shots compared to Oklahoma State's shooting percentage of over 54%. The final score, 51-87, Oklahoma State takes the victory. Next, the Bears travel to El Paso on November 27th to take on the UTEP Miners. With the fall semester coming to an end, the UNC soccer team, football, volleyball teams will all be saying goodbye to this year's seniors. Bear News Sports Director Rachel Turnock wanted to hear from some of those seniors about their careers as Bears.
It's an emotional day, but it was great to have my family here, have all my friends to support me, and just have everyone supporting all the seniors.
It was an emotional day, both happy and sad. It's just a part of the day of being a senior.
Thanks, Rachel. These seniors have had a great impact on UNC and will be greatly missed. UNC hockey team has gotten off to a great start, winning 13 of their first 16 games. A large part of that success has been thanks to the Bears' great offense and their ability to make goals when they mattered most. Kevin Garski hit one of these clutch goals and met with Bear News reporter Miles Gregory down at the Ice House.
Kevin Garski has played for the Bears hockey team all 4 years he has been at UNC. This year, Garski has made the transition from defenseman to forward and has adapted well to the move. Late last month, Garski made an amazing backhanded shot to win the game in overtime against Metro State. I asked Garski how the team has been able to pull off these late games.
We don't get down as, previous years we had much higher highs and lows, and the lows especially, and this year we got people that we know can bury when given the opportunity, so it's we're a lot more confident going into those types of situations.
Transitioning from defense to offense is no easy task, but Coach Alan Brown says Garski has done well adapting.
And, lo and behold, he's a great forward. He's got a super shot. He finds the open holes around the goalie and puts the puck in the net.
Garski has 7 goals and 6 assists this season, which doubles the amount he scored last season. Garski is known as a scrappy player and has been doing all the little things that help the team win, as he told me in our interview.
So I guess my game is just trying to go hard in the corners and come out and win the battles and just earn it for my team.
Kevin Garski and the Bears will be playing UCCS Saturday night at the Ice House. Reporting from the Ice House, I'm Miles Gregory, Bear News.
Good luck to the Bears for the rest of the season. As I mentioned earlier, we covered the NAU-UNC football game, and Bear News Sports Director Rachel Turnock traveled with UNC to Northern Arizona on November 16th. Since it was the first time anyone from Bear News traveled with the UNC team, she wanted to share her experience at NAU.
Right under this field turf isn't just cement, but rather a basketball court where the NAU men's and women's team play. But that's not all this dome has to offer. The Cardinals practiced here for almost 25 years to train at altitude during the off-season, but ended their partnership with NAU this past summer. More than 20,000 students attend Northern Arizona University. This Sky Dome can fit 10,000 people after its renovation in 2011 and sits just at 7,000 feet. Any guesses on which is the first stadium? None other than War Memorial Stadium, located in Laramie, Wyoming, home of the Wyoming Cowboys, and is just over 7,200 feet. Do you have any idea what the numbers 48 and 14 had in common at this Sky Dome? One word: brothers. Defensive end for the Bears, Ryan Holmes, and wide receiver for NAU, Alex Holmes, are brothers from Scottsdale, Arizona. When game time was over, the brothers met up and had a chance to chat it up and spend time with their family. Home of the NAU Lumberjacks, this Sky Dome is by far one of the most phenomenal stadiums I've ever been to.
Thanks, Rachel. That looked like a lot of fun. I'm sure Flagstaff is beautiful this time of year.
Rachel is such a good reporter. She's going places.
After the break, we've got your Pinterest pick of the week.
Stick around, we'll be right back in 60 seconds. Let's take a look at our Pinterest pick of the week. If you're not quite sure what kind of drinks you're preparing for this year's Thanksgiving dinner, then you might want to take a look at these mouth-watering spiced apple cider cocktails. They are wonderful to enjoy before or after that Thanksgiving feast and a great way to impress your guests. This drink includes apple cider, honey, ground cinnamon, and granulated sugar. They can be prepared including alcohol or not.
Well, those look pretty delicious. I think I'm going to have to try and make them for my family this holiday season.
Yeah, and spice them up.
Well, maybe. Thanks for joining us for our final show of the semester. We'll be back next semester.
I unfortunately will not be back next semester, and I will miss you, but until then, stay up to date on Bear News, 98 Facebook page. Be sure to like us.
Have a great holiday season.